What's up? This is Simon from DevTactic. Today I'm going to show you how to make cool animations with a simple JavaScript animation framework called Move.js inside your Ionic app. And therefore we're going to start with a simple blank Ionic app. And we can give it an app name, Move It. So the Move.js is on GitHub, so you can download it. You can't install it via Boa, so we have to download it and copy the needed files into our directory. So I already downloaded it, so take this move min.js and copy it to your www lib folder. Okay, fine for now. So what we're gonna do is we will add some small animations. We will move some buttons, we will add some padding and everything just with our Move.js framework. So here's the file. I'm a bit lazy, so I'm gonna copy this and add it just before the end of our body. Don't forget to add a lib for it. I'm not sure why this is not working in the head, but maybe you can tell me. So here we got our app, and we will add a class to our Ion content. No padding for today. And what we need for the Move.js to work is we need to give some IDs to elements so we can use Angular or document get element by IDs. So I'm gonna already add here content EG and our ng controller, which will be the app controller. And why not give the header bar the ID header? Who knows? Yeah, I know. And inside our Ion content, we will have some buttons. Guess what? We give it the ID buttons. And we're gonna add 3 buttons. Use the stable ones. And add some click actions to it, which we'll obviously implement in our controller later. So I'm very lazy. I'm gonna copy this 3 times and remove the useless space here. So the first one will animate our visuals, the second one will move our buttons and therefore move me, and the third one is going to make the background blink a bit. So this one's blink. Okay, so for now this is fine, and let's go to our app.js. Obviously we need a controller, which is our app controller, and we need the scope injected. So the first one was scope.move buttons, and now we make use of this document get element by ID, what I already told you. So document dot get element by ID, and the ID was buttons of our buttons div. Okay, so now we got our buttons, and now we can call move, which is the start for calling the move.js, and just give it our buttons element. And now we can make some animations or things. I will come back to that later, what you can do with that. So for now, let's take ease. This specifies how our animation is going to take place. And what do we want to move? Our one. And how long? About 0.5 seconds. And we need to end our animation. Well, that's everything for move buttons. So we'll increase the value by 200 in a in-out animation in a duration of 0.5 seconds. Great. Next one. Animate visuals. Continue with our next function, the animate visuals. And for this we will get another element, and this is the content bg, and we'll as well get our header. I love code completion, definitely. So, and again we will call move, and we will start with our background, and we will set the padding to, well, 10%. Might be fine. For a duration of, let's say, 2 seconds. And now we come to a bit new point. We not just call end, but we will call another function inside our end, which will also call move, but on the header. And we will set the background color to, well, whatever I take, for the B6AC. And, well, let's also make it a duration of 2 seconds. Now we just call end. So that's calling another function in the end of the first one. It's a bit, yeah, I like it. It's easy, but it just works. So the third one was our blink function. Oh, come on, JS hint. Go away. I don't like you. And we will again get our background, and here we will have a little trick. So, well, I start with the first one. We want to highlight, and we save this in a variable, our background. We want to set the background attribute to value I obviously know, and we want to make it for a very short duration of 0.2 seconds. And now we come to the chaining of the Move.js framework. So we call then, which we need to fill, and end. And now we can give another move function to then. So we can now make another one and define it before our second one, and we will call it highlight back because we want to highlight our background back to the color it had initially. So we will set the background back to this. Again, duration very short, 0.2 seconds, and here we can just call end. And now we can take highlight back and give it to then, so inside, so they are chained, and when highlight is done, highlight back will just be called. Pretty cool, very easy. So for now this might be working. So Ionic platform and iOS, because I'm on a Mac and I'm gonna test this on the iOS simulator. If you're not developing on a Mac, you obviously cannot build for iOS. So we prepare iOS and we run Ionic. Oh god, it's late in the evening. So meanwhile we can take a look at the Move.js side, which is just a simple example page of what you can do with it, and we will take a look again at it. So where's our simulator? Oh, we can go full size. So here are 3 buttons, nothing special for now. Let's start with the third one. Oh, a very nice blinking effect of our background. Awesome. Just awesome. So easy. Okay, our first one was the content, or I'm not sure. Let's see what happens. Yeah, this one obviously made a 10% padding to our element, and in the end we called to set the background color of our header. Okay, and the last one should move our buttons 200 pixels or whatever down, and it works. Great. So this was the first part of our tutorial. Now we will make something, well, a bit more useful than these 3 things. So for now we will add a timer which will just time and count up, and add a little animation. So what we're gonna do is add another button inside our array of buttons, and this one will call our timer function, which we need to implement, obviously. And below these buttons we will have another div with some styling. You can just copy that from my blog, just visit the page, I will write it under this video. So let me just type in some things. As this is a very easy tutorial, I put all of things inside the element, which you should obviously not do if you're making any real apps or using it somewhere else. You should always add it to your style. But for now I'm very lazy. And finally we add ng-cloak, so our timer inside won't be shown if it's not initialized, and when it's initialized we will just set it to hidden or whatever. So ng-cloak makes sure we not have this blinking like we have time or something like that, and that would just suck. but we will have for now another div inside, which will have, well, my timer. So, and here we have the time. Okay, perfect. That's it for now. Okay, our index is ready. Let's head over to our app.js, and we will need to add another dependency here, which is the timeout. Okay, so we added a function that's implemented, was the timer function, and here we will set our time to 0, and after this we will scope.timer timeout, and we will call the timeout with the function we will soon implement, and 0 because when we want to start our timer we want to start it instant. And so here we have our on timeout function, or on timeout function, and we just need to increase our time. Alright, let's make a tiny check for, well, if you have started the timer, you don't want to restart it or you get some strange behavior. Well, it's a short thing. In that case we cancel our scope timer timeout. Just a small thing. So in our on timeout we will try to get our element. Oh, LF code completion, and we call it my timer. So again we call move on our timer, and this one's going to be a bit more. We want a snap effect. You can take a look what's a snap on this page. Let me get it here. This row is a snap effect, so watch it. It just snaps very fast to one direction. And we want to set the opacity to 1. And we want to scale, so it gets bigger. And we want all of this to be done pretty much instant, because that is the beginning of our timer. So a new number should always snap up, become visible, and scale to a bigger size. And what we're going to do as well is call this move again. Or you can play around with those snap out, in out, or whatever fits your needs. So we're gonna move the X value 150 to the right, and we rotate our element by, let's say, 140 degrees, and we scale it to a very small size, and we set our, it's a lot, we set our opacity to 0 as we are fading out this one, with a duration of, well, 1 second is fine. And now we can call our end. And what we finally need, what? Oh no, yeah, and this might be 0.1. So finally we need our timer timeout to be called again. Yes, the timeout one, and it should call our on timer timeout function again in 1 second. This makes sense, I hope. So I'm not sure if this one should be above this one. I'll just make that. And now we run it again. So as I said, you can have a look at all those examples: moving, more moving, or moving to the left, rotate, changing colors, translating to whatever, move where whatever you like, skew it and scale it and whatever you like. So let's come back to our timer. Here we got our diff, and if we press timer, our timer should start, hopefully. Yeah, well, that does not look like it should look. So obviously we made a small bug, and I fixed that one to ease out. It was just a tiny typo. So we can call Ionic run iOS now, and again you can have a look at all those implementations here. It's not very hard. It's about chaining, calling a function in the end, calling with delay, and all stuff like that. It's very lightweight, so yeah, I encourage you to use it. And now finally let's try our timer and see. Yeah, that is an epic animation. Don't you think? So while this is timing up, I have to say goodbye. This is the end of the tutorial, and if you like this, come to my blog DevTactic or follow me on YouTube, although I might not have that much videos by now. More will come, so will more articles come on my blog. So stay tuned. I would be very glad if you like this tutorial and leave a comment or tweet me something. Goodbye.